His Excellency Hisham Mohammad Mustafa Badr, you have visited Cox's Bazar, the largest Rohingya camp. They are coming from Myanmar. We call them refugees. Just we want to know, or please share your experience after visiting the Cox's Bazar Rohingya camp.
Well, I'm very glad first to be here. I have a very nice personal experience. My father was the Egyptian ambassador in Dhaka 20 years ago, so I have a very good personal connection, and I feel with the Bangladeshi people, because Bengal people, we grew up here, and my father, like my late father and my mother, love Bangladesh and love Dhaka, so it's a great honor to be back here. I'm currently here representing I'm president of the World Food Program, which is the biggest, largest humanitarian organization in the world. It provides food and materials to hungry people, over $7 billion per year. Bangladesh is a very important country for us. And along with myself, we have a big delegation representing the whole world, the executive board, to come and primarily to thank the Bangladeshi government. I had the honor of meeting yesterday the Primary Secretary of the Prime Minister, Mr. Najib al-Rahman, and I expressed to him on behalf of the delegation and on behalf of Mr. David Beasley, the Executive Director of the World Food Program, who is revolutionizing the World Food Program, a great man who's done a lot for the world poor, for the World Food Program. And I relate on behalf of the Executive Board and the Executive Director a message of appreciation to Her Excellency Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina for all the great work that she's doing, in particular, as you were saying, in hosting 1.2 million refugees and Bangladesh is doing this at a time when many other countries around the world, much richer, especially in Europe, are not hosting, do not want to be. So this is a great step of generosity, and this delegation is coming to say thank you Bangladesh, thank you Prime Minister Hasina for this great work. And at the same time, the World Food Program is doing a big job here. We are spending $1 billion over 4 years to try to help, because when Bangladesh is doing this great work, we must come to help and to see. And in Cox's Bazar, we had the pleasure and honor to go and travel the camps and see the situation of the refugees, and we are satisfied with the great work that is being done with the World Food Program in cooperation with other humanitarian UN agencies, along with the government, to give dignity. Our motto is to save lives and change lives, and this is what's being done. The World Food Program is more than just providing food. It provides hope, it provides jobs, it provides livelihood, it provides opportunities, it provides empowerment for women, it provides everything. And throughout these 2 days in Cox's Bazar, we saw that. We saw how from simply saving lives, people not dying, to giving them dignified shelter, to giving them opportunities, to giving them hope, women doing sewing, women doing other activities, planting, so that they can do, from school feeding little kids who are born in the camps and have been there, giving good education and giving them something for the future. So education, plantation, dignity, empowerment, giving them, all of this is being done.
You know, Bangladesh is a density populated country.
Yes.
And here 1.2 million people already in Cox's Bazar, and you already mentioned increase the number.
Yes.
How long you would cooperate your program?
We will continue to cooperate as long as Bangladesh needs us, as long as the refugees there. This is the World Food Program. We never leave anyone behind. As long as there are people that need our help, we will be there. This is something I tell you as president of the board, the international community, and the executive director, Mr. David Beasley, is committed to this issue. We are here for this message. As long as you need us, we will be there.
Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, already we have sheltered 1.2 million Rohingyas in Cox's Bazar. That's a burden for us, for the future. How do you think?
I want to salute Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina for all the good efforts and bearing this. Obviously, repatriation is something that everyone wants. and everyone is working so that hopefully by diplomacy through international commitment, because the international community must bear responsibility to make this repatriation. But at the same time, as you know and everyone knows, this repatriation will take place when the situation is suitable for it to happen. So as soon as the situation is suitable for it, it will happen. As long as we have a situation now which could be temporary, we don't know how long it could be, we will have to work with the Bangladeshi government. And the Bangladeshi government is a donor in the sense that it is hosting this community, and the international community in all its aspects, all the partners with the UN, the World Food Programme, the other UN agencies, will be committed to continue helping till the political situation improves and there is a settlement in which allows this repatriation of the Rohingyas going back to Myanmar.
If the Rohingyas go back to Myanmar, your program will be continuing in Myanmar?
If there's a need for there, of course it will, and the situation appropriate, the government of course has to allow this, because we always operate with the consent and with the approval and the full cooperation of the government. And of course if this program is part, that repatriation takes place peacefully, and Myanmar along with the Bangladesh allow us to do this job, we will be there.
Bhashanchar, a place in Noakhali district in Bangladesh. Bangladesh government is thinking about to reshelter or replace them in Bhashanchar. That's a island in the riverside. Do you know about this?
We heard, I heard yesterday from the Prime Minister's office about this, and we are currently looking into this issue in cooperation to our office here. The WFP office here is going to be studying and looking at this issue to see how we can cooperate in a positive manner with the Bangladeshi authority on this.
We know WFP is working in some other sectors in Bangladesh, including Cox's Bazar.
Yes.
Any idea or any plan to expand your program in Bangladesh in another sector?
We respond to the government's needs, and there is a plan that is put. It's a 5-year plan, and therefore this is done in cooperation with the government. The government makes a request, and the office here looks at it. And as you know, the WFP is not the only one working on the ground. There's the other UN bodies, and we see how each can respond to the different need of the government request. So when there is, it always begins with the government requesting, we need this here. We need, for example, to give the technical capacity. We need to give more food assistance. Here we need to do more school feeding. School feeding is one of the most successful programs of the United Nations, I believe. And we saw it in Cox's Bazar, because it gives more than food. It gives these students this young hope and education, and gives their family. So for example, if the government says we need more school feeding, I know that also the government in Bangladesh has its own school feeding program. We are helping with a certain amount here. So as long when the request comes, it is studied and seen how best to cooperate, as we are not the only operator. We are one of the biggest operators, but we are not the only UN or only partner or NGO. There is a lot of bilateral support which is also given. All of this gives a complete, comprehensive picture so that we can act together to face the situation and help not only the refugees, help the host community, help the government, which is a leading model. I cannot be here and not tell you that for the world, looking at Bangladesh as a leading development model, a lot of the successes across the last 20, 30 years is something that all we should look at proudly and thank the Bangladeshi people for all the great efforts they have exerted.
The leadership of our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina,
yes,
in the humanitarian ground and any other ground, just
of course this is
a
great leadership. We are. That's what the reason we are here, and we relate not only on behalf of the executive board our appreciation of the great leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, but also of the executive director, Mr. David Beasley, who has asked me to relay this message to Her Excellency Prime Minister. I know she had a very busy schedule, so I could not meet her personally, but I relayed this message to Mr. Najib Rahman, leading principal secretary. So we appreciate this leadership and this generosity, and I want this to the Bangladeshi people on this television encounter to again stress this appreciation and gratitude to the government and to Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina.
If you suggest how to overcome the Rohingya crisis,
the international community has to be more seized with the issue, has to be more involved with the issue. This is a big political issue that the whole international community, the United Nations, everyone has to be focusing on how to solve this crisis through all kinds of ways, urging and trying to you know, the WFP is non-political, but it deals with the symptoms of this, with the cause, but at the same time, all the important countries in the world and the United Nations cannot continue this. This has to be stopped, so that in order that the Rohingya people can go back to their country and find the lost a long-term solution that would end this protracted crisis.